With the different accounts available here in Canada, it can get really confusing. Which account should you open up first? How much should you invest here before you move on to the next one? Or should you open all of them out together and take a loan to max them out? What? That's stupid. Use a line of credit instead. Okay, jokes aside, not having an order or a system is the worst way to go about it. And so in this short video, I'd like to go over the optimal order to opening and funding these accounts so that you can build true wealth here in Canada. And full transparency here, I'll also talk about how much money I personally have invested into each of these accounts. Let's get into it. Okay, so here are the different accounts that we'll be talking about today. First things first, clearly have a limit for each of these accounts. Some of these you'll have to set for yourself, and some you'll already have a limit considering the annual or lifetime limits. Also, I won't be talking about RRSP in this one because why invest in your kids? I mean, I don't want them feeling entitled. Let them work their asses off and build their own futures, right?
You done? Sound like you still whining to me.
Okay, no, but seriously, it doesn't apply to me at this point. But if you think you'd like to start planning for your kids' education, then I would recommend doing some thinking around this too. Okay, so let's start with the first and most basic account, the checking account. This is the account where you'll house your monthly expenses like rent, groceries, eating out, etc. There are no benefits with keeping additional money in this account, and so you might want to keep this as low as possible. Having said that, some of the banks charge a monthly fee which can be waived off if you maintain a minimum balance, and in my case that being $4,000. And so I keep about $4,000 as a bare minimum within this account with all of my monthly expenses on top of it. And anything above that, I transfer to my high interest savings account. This is the account that I use for all of my savings, and currently I use the 𝘁cie cash account because it offers the best interest rates in the market right now. This is where I house my emergency fund as well as any additional upcoming big expenses or investments I have on the horizon. While it might seem like a good idea to invest all of your money in the market, not having access to liquid funds could potentially lead to your downfall. I've spoken to many people who have had to withdraw money prematurely from their investments because of some unforeseen circumstances. You don't want to be one of those people. The game is to stay invested in the market long enough for you to make good returns. And so first settle on a liquid fund limit and work towards achieving that amount in your savings account. And it's not like you're not growing this amount anyway. Making 3 to 4% is a decent return on your emergency liquid fund. In my case, I keep about $30,000 in my high interest savings account. Once you've achieved your liquid goals, let's move on to the investment accounts. If you're unsure of what these different investment accounts are, then I would highly recommend checking out this video where I dive deep into these investment accounts and how you should use them. Check it out, but probably after watching this video. Okay, so the first investment account you should open up is the TFSA. There's some people who advocate storing or investing your emergency fund in the TFSA, but that's a stupid approach in my opinion, since you can never tell how the market behaves. So imagine a scenario where you decide to put in all of your emergency fund or savings, say about $15,000, into some mutual fund or ETF through your TFSA. And imagine if that ETF tanks to about $5,000 because the market fell. And if you're in dire need of money at that point, then you're screwed because you not only lost money in the process, but the amount left may not be sufficient for your emergency. I think Morgan Housel said this best. There is no reason to risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. So use the TFSA as it was meant to be used. Invest your after-tax dollars in stocks, funds, bonds, etc. and make it grow for you. It's a good idea to first invest in the TFSA before moving on to the other investment accounts, considering you don't get taxed on any of your capital gains and you can withdraw any or all of the amount within the TFSA with zero tax. By the way, I've personally maxed out my TFSA as it stands. Once you have a decent amount invested here, you can then move on to the FHSA, the First Home Savings Account. If you're planning on buying your first home here in Canada, then this is the perfect account to focus on next. And especially if you fall in a higher income tax bracket, then the earlier you start investing into FHSA, the better, because any contribution to this account is tax deductible, so you save money on income tax. Also, any withdrawals you do towards your first home is also completely tax-free. So that's a double bonus which makes this easily the most lucrative account out of the lot, but only if you're saving for your first home. But having said that, you have the flexibility to transfer your FHSA FHSA amount to your RRSP if in case you don't want to use the amount here for your first home. So if you're on the fence about buying a house, like me, because I'm not planning to buy a house anytime soon, then you can simply start investing here and use this as an extension to your RRSP with even better tax benefits. Okay, so once you get to a decent amount or max out your FHSA, you can then move on to opening an RRSP. While this account can sound like you're planning for retirement, you can be smart with your investments and simply use this to lower your income tax bracket. So the only two instances where I would suggest investing through an RRSP even before the other two accounts are when your employer offers an RRSP or an RRSP contribution match to make full use of that contribution, or when you fall in a really high tax bracket and you wanted to considerably lower the income tax you pay to the government. But all in all, it's usually a good idea to max out your RRSP as the last investment account out of the three, and that's exactly what I do too. Once you completely maxed out all of the above accounts and you still have money to invest, then you, sir or madam, are doing pretty well for yourself. Wink, wink. Not supposed to be saying wink while winking, right? Okay, no, but seriously, then would be a good time to open up a non-registered account. This is a regular investment account with no tax benefits at all, but if you're smart with your investments, then paying tax on that is literally only a small price to pay. Full transparency here, I still don't have a non-registered account yet because I'm still in the process of maxing out the other accounts. And that's it. You now know the ideal order of investing your money to not only save on taxes, but also get your money to make you more money in the process. If you found this useful, then do hit the like button because your support will go a long way and help others too in their financial journey. I'd recommend checking out my previous video where I talk about the ideal order of managing your money, as in how much should you invest in an emergency fund, should you first pay off your high interest debt, mortgage, etc. Implementing the learnings from that video alongside this one will give you a holistic approach to planning your finances. Click here to watch that video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you here.